As a dad, when I'm dealing with thoughts like I'm not doing enough, I don't feel like a good enough parent, and all the guilt that comes with, things not going to plan, which, as we know in the parenting life, is quite often, I have one phrase which I come back to so often that's helped me really get back into the right viewpoint of what's actually going on and put me back on track. And that phrase is parent your children in weeks, not days. Parenting in weeks, not days, is what I'm calling, for the sake of this video, panoramic parenting. It's this idea of pulling back on your current situation and looking at things from this wider, slower, more compassionate viewpoint. So let me give you a few examples about how this works for me, and hopefully it'll be something that will work for you. Tell me if you've had this kind of day, right? You were a bit late getting things ready in the morning, so you've rushed breakfast and your child wasn't really eating what they were offered. You go out for your day trip, and on the way you realise you've forgotten the snacks. So you've got to duck into a shop, but there isn't much choice, so you end up getting like a big chocolate croissant or something for them. Later on in the day, your train was cancelled, so you ended up jumping into a cafe to get lunch, but the choices weren't really right for your little one, and so you ended up getting them a brownie or a cookie just so they would be able to eat something. And you get home a lot later than you planned, and they're really tired, and so are you, and you're not really in a position to make something for dinner, so they just have cereal and then they go to bed. Now, I don't use terms like healthy or unhealthy food with my son, or good or bad foods, when talking about his eating habits. I take the viewpoint of the kids' dietitian, Jennifer Anderson, who says that all food is energy, and that really helps a lot with getting rid of things like food shame, and I will do an episode on that at some point soon, so once I've done that, I'll link it here or below. But for now, let's just say that, most of us really do want to give our children a balanced diet and the best food that we can. Now, when we parent in days and we're looking at our child's eating through a day, when we look back on the kind of crazy day that I just described, then all we're going to see is failure. And we'll be lying in bed at night thinking they didn't eat any real food today. And then we'll start kind of spiraling anxiously, scrolling through children's meal plans. A lot of guilt and shame comes out of that cycle of thought, and guilt and shame have that way of compressing time. Suddenly you are seeing your child's whole future, and that, oh no, just because of my parenting, now they only eat brownies for the rest of their life, and then we start to go losing our minds. But when we practice panoramic parenting, we can pull back from this single day where things just didn't go to plan and start to have a more compassionate view on it. So instead of saying, what did they eat today? We can start saying, what have they eaten this week? And by pulling back, you might see something like, they tried a mouthful of 2 new foods this week. That's amazing. What a huge success. You can pull back even further to the whole month if you like. Oh, do you remember when we went to that pizza restaurant last month and they didn't really eat anything? And then we went back again this month and they tried it and they actually liked it. Huge success. You're doing great. Things are going brilliantly. And by pulling back and seeing things in this horizon view, we can see, you know what? We're generally traveling in the direction we want to go. And that's amazing. And this doesn't just apply to eating. It can apply to anything that we're dealing with in our parenting life. Sleep issues, behavioral struggles, school milestones, learning objectives, all these things we want to be helping our children with. We can have that slower, more compassionate view. Ultimately, the best thing about panoramic parenting is it helps you to stop viewing yourself and your child as some sort of project to get right. That's way too much pressure on you as a parent and on them as a child to fulfill that. When in these moments of guilt, dysregulation, panic, wondering if you're getting it all wrong, when you can stand back and look at the whole panorama and see all the progress you're making, and something that was happening last year that felt like it's never going to end is now just a memory, you'll be able to enjoy time with your kids more in the moment rather than judging each day or each moment that passes as some marker of success or failure. And in the end, being present with your kids, isn't that what it's all about? Your kids won't remember that weird day where they just did eat biscuits all day, but they will remember the tone that you set for their whole childhood. One that wasn't about judgment or perfection or anxiety and getting things perfect each day and getting stressed out when one small thing went wrong, But instead, by pulling back and slowing down, we created an environment of flexibility, of encouragement, of laughing when days don't exactly go to plan. And when it comes to this heavy burden of guilt that we can sometimes feel where we're trying to get every day correct, remember that you are feeling these things because you love your kids and because you want what's best for them. And what that shows you as a parent is that you are capable. Taking that panoramic view shows you that you have come through a lot of challenges, and so has your child. Both of you are capable, and both of you are strong and able. So, friends, let me know if this works for you, and if you have anything that you do to help yourself get that wider view of your parenting journey and have more self compassion. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.